Good morning, fellow Malaysians. It's been quite some time since I last addressed you, but today, the subject matter of my address is very simple. I'm inviting all Malaysians to face some ugly truths. I can assure you, since independence, no one has raised the issue the way which I'm going to do so this morning. For a long time, what I'm going to discuss with all of you were in whispers, within polite circles, within the corridors of power. You may have an inkling, but I don't think you really know the sensitivity and why it's been kept out of scene or out of your reach, even within the Bumi community. All right. So I will not waste any time, because recently we again see the ugly spectre of bigotry and extremism coming to the fore in the person of Lokman and Tajuddin. Right? I'm nothing against them, but I want to show to you whatever been said by these two members of UMNO, and what have been said and articulated and debated in the third Bumi Congress, organized by the Pakatan Harapan, is a load of bullshit, hyperbole, propaganda, and a gross misrepresentation of reality. That being the case, I can assure you, whatever reforms under the big umbrella Reformasi is meaningless, cosmetic, because if the economic base of a country or if a community is not addressed, whatever institutions you're going to reform, it will be cosmetic. In extreme situations, say for example, a country is totally corrupt, the economic base, banana state, invariably to survive, the various people in the various institutions will be corrupt. No ways about it, no two ways about it. So, corruption stems from the nature of the economic base. In the last 15 years, from the time of the retirement of Tun Mahathir as the fourth Prime Minister, the economic base of our country has been galvanized, harnessed for a specific purpose, resulting in what we call now the largest, the worst kleptocracy in the world. But before that, we had also the oligarchs that give rise to the next stage, the kleptocrats. So what I'm going to say to you now will shock you, okay? This is what I'm going to say to you, and I hope you will agree. The UMNO political octopus controls all levers of political power prior to 2008. All right? It's very important to bear this in mind, this diagram, okay? Now, literally prior to 2008, UMNO controlled the federal government and all state governments, with the exception of Kelantan, which is irrelevant for intended purposes. Thereafter, the opposite control, Penang, Selangor, and Kelantan. But prior to that, total political power was in the hands of UMNO. And you will recall, to today, my fellow Muslim brethren and brothers, sisters, who controls the army? You, good people, your community. The police, every institution of higher learning, every universities, who are in control? Your representatives. appointed by the UMNO government. Every major industry, oil, agriculture, private industries, you name it, manufacturing, who are in control? Your representatives, who have been appointed by who? The UMNO government. Bear that in mind. Alright? The entire state structure is a representative of your community, your race, your religion. Almost 100%. The banks, the public listed companies are all under UMNO control. That economic base gives rise to the political control. Alright? Now, having said that, I will now tell you something which you may disagree, but this is the reality. The Bumi Putra economy equals to the UMNO economy. And why? UMNO controls all levers of the economy. Got that? Okay. Then, let me explain further. The UMNO octopus, likewise in the political scenario, the UMNO octopus tentacles controls all sectors of the economy. Get that into your head. Alright? So therefore, it's not hyperbole or misrepresentation to say that the Bumi Putra economy up to even now is essentially the UMNO economy, because UMNO controls the economy. Now, to sum up the extent of that control, I wonder how many of you who are economists or political analysis, politicians for that matter, have ever debated in parliament before they got in power, Pakatan, and now in power, have realized that essentially our economy is controlled by no more than 100 companies, in essence. And on top of this pyramid is the 5 government-linked investment companies, GLIC. Who controls this GLIC? UMNO appointed big wigs. And now with the establishment of Pakatan Harapan government, there was only one change in Khazanah. Also a representative of the Malay community. And who are these 5 GLICs that controls essentially at the peak the entire economy? Essentially the monetary aspects of the economy. Alright? EPF, Khazanah, LTAT, the military pension funds, PNB, and Tabung Haji. These are the 5. Alright? And of course, a sideline tangent would be Bank Negara. Okay. So, they in turn control approximately 70 companies. And they have majority holdings in these 70 companies. Alright? Now, these 70 companies is very important. They represent a cross-section of the entire economy. Okay? And represent 42% of the Kuala Lumpur Stock Exchange. 42%. In terms of weightage. Okay? And you know that the Kuala Lumpur Composite Index is basically made up of a few companies. Handful. And they're essentially government-linked companies. Reporting to and controlled by the 5 government-linked investment companies. This is at the national federal level. At the state level, you have also similar structures. State governments have state-controlled companies as well as private companies. Now, insofar as a private company is concerned, all right, this has missed all of your attention, your analysis. Many elite UMNO members, all right, not necessarily in the Supreme Council, not necessarily even divisional heads, but because they have certain acumen, they have been made trustees of UMNO, in control of several, in the thousands of silver hard. Okay, they could be property developer, manufacturing, trading, whatever. The board, the chairman, the key directors are UMNO nominees, and the shares are registered in their personal name. I won't go into detail, but this is the gist. But I have a personal experience to tell you a story. Long time ago, when the rift between Anwar and Tun Mahathir became extreme and led to the expulsion of Anwar from UMNO, many companies who had UMNO members as trustee, as board of directors and shareholders of those companies, went over to Anwar's side of the equation. Not too many, but a substantial minority. And UMNO could not ask them to resign or to transfer back the shares to UMNO, being nominee and trustees. Because if UMNO were to tell them, hand over the shares back to UMNO, resign as board of directors, and be replaced by new UMNO directors, or else we sue you, and then the cat will get out of the bag. The Pandora box will be open. So UMNO didn't take any action at all against those directors, trustees of UMNO companies that went over to the Anwar faction. That's history. But to illustrate to you that this has happened, and I'm telling you from my personal knowledge, all right, of a development company in Selangor, controlled by UMNO nominees and trustees. By the time of the factions war, they went over to Anwar. That's history. But today, UMNO is in a state of collapse. But they cannot resolve this collapse because they're no longer in power. Can you imagine now? Billions of assets owned by various private companies, silver hard, are in control, not by UMNO directly, but by the trustees and nominees appointed by UMNO. And they're in every sector of our economy. And they don't report to the 5 government-linked investment companies. They're too small, but they're everywhere, all over the country. Can you imagine if the GLIC, government-linked investment companies, controlling 70 other companies, which they have a majority shareholding, right? There are also companies and special vehicles which the GLIC controls a minority stake. Add together, the tentacles of UMNO is everywhere. So now we have the dilemma. How did UMNO get all this money to disperse in this way? It's from leakages within our economy. These leakages went on and continue to do so, right, in propping up all these various structures that constitute the Bumi Putra economy. All right. You ask me, Matthias, if you know this all along, why didn't you criticize it? Why didn't you confront Tun Mahathir when he was political secretary? The answer is very simple. All right? I took a moral stand. Amoral, A-M-O-R-A-L, means neutral stand morally. Why? If the Malay community as a whole, bar none, even past the object, and chose this path for development, and there was success, right? There's no denying this modus operandi, this structure did give rise to success. There was upliftment of the Bumi community. There was reduction in poverty. No two ways about it. There was leaps and bounds upwards in terms of income, revenue, and the upliftment of the people. And by the way, the country also developed. So who am I to criticize a choice collectively agreed upon by the majority community? Notwithstanding, there are faults and failures. In everything, you have no absolute guarantee of success. All right? So we had a cake, an economic cake. The big chunk went to the Bumi. A chunk went to the Chinese, Indians, and other races. Essentially, you look after your own piece of the cake. Diversity, right? Within the globe, the larger picture of the economic cake. So, we had successes. No doubt about it. But the moment you talk about reformation, reformasi, blah, 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 and we have now reached a stage of a development whereby we are asked to ask the key question: can this modus operandi continue when Pakatan Harapan do not have this superstructure and base to sustain its control, its political power? The structures that I described to you earlier is still controlled by UMNO, but they are now disintegrated. A whole chunk of revenue assets that went to support the Bumi community is now in the hands of all these thousands of nominees and trustees. And do you think they will return the assets to UMNO? No. PKR have members who are formerly UMNO. Likewise, Bersatu. How can there be a reformation of the economic base when this huge elephant is still owned directly, indirectly by UMNO and by UMNO reps? But UMNO who controls a large segment of the civil service. So what reformation are we talking about? Yet in the manifesto, in post-election, Tun Mahathir as a Prime Minister, Wan Aziz as a Deputy Prime Minister represent PKR and Anwar, has not dared uttered a word. And now, of course, when there's always crisis, we look for a boogeyman. It used to be, and still is, the non-Muslims, the Chinese, the Indians, whatever, an external threat. Let me tell you, my dear fellow Malaysians, right? If you think that you can blame and push this issue to external threats, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. Why? The previous modus operandi, when UMNO had total control of the political power and total control of the economy, you can say it was a state capitalism. Almost like communists. One party rule, a bit, but it's national. And they could drive and push things because of their control. But now we have reached a level of development where that structure is no longer relevant or as effective as one would expect it to be. It cannot be anymore. Why? Simple. In our present circumstances, we cannot compete against America, the biggest economy in the world. That's for sure, right? That's for sure. Neither can we compete with China, the second economic power of the world. Neither can we compete with Europe, European Union, all right, a huge continental power, third in the world's ranking, or Japan. So who are our immediate threats? Not even India, I'm telling you. But the sheer numbers and the capabilities, we can't even compete with all these 5 countries. So if we go on doing what we are doing and stagnate in less than 10 years, I'm telling you, our main competitors are not the first 5 countries I mentioned to you, but the African continent. They are so hungry for success, so hungry for development, so hungry for elevation to higher economy, with massive investment from China, Japan, Europe and America. Africa will pose the greatest challenge to Malaysia. Not 5 countries. Because in the 5 countries, we can't even go near them, we can't even touch them. And when that happens, I'm going to show you, we will end up as a banana state, for sure, in less than 10 years. A Vision 2020 cannot be achieved by 2020. Can it be achieved by 2025? As hoped by Tun Mahathir? No, no way. Not in the present structure. Right? Not because of this dichotomy of control. Okay? So we have this situation. Now, what is the solution? Very simple. Alright? I dare anyone in government, outside government says, okay, as a non, I hate to say this, right? But the fact is like, I'm Chinese, okay? But I don't give a shit who's in power. Let's assume this country is 100% a Bumi Putra, Malays and Muslim. Will any affirmative action as embodied NEP for a 100% Malay country bring absolute equality among all races? No, isn't it? There will still be Malay bus drivers, Malay car drivers, Malay garbage collectors with the pinches, a splash of immigrant labourers, Malay hawkers, waiters. There are still privates in the army. There are still privates in the police force. There are still Malay teachers, all right, and lecturers who chose not to earn big money, but as a vocation, as a profession, they chose to be teachers. It was a noble profession. And what have you? There will be factory workers as well, isn't it? The bulk of the Malays will still be not the elites or the rich. That is the basic reality. Even if it's 100% Malay. So why are the leaders of the Malay community and the Ummah in Malaysia harping on, right? You are lazy. You can't progress. You're not businessmen. Hey, not everyone wants to be a businessman. Hey, not everybody use money as a guideline for success. Not everyone wants to worship at the altar of the money god. Not everybody considers cash as king. Yet, in a sweeping statement, we choose not to respect, to give honor to those who choose a profession that brings no money, but satisfaction. Satisfaction to himself, to the students, and to the community. And doing money. But the way the last Congress, the third Congress, and the way UMNO is going on, your Lokman and Tajuddin and Hadi, there's no criteria. Right? Be extremists in religion who don't plus money, then you're successful. So even in that scenario, which would happen, after 100% Malaysia, you will still have this equilibrium, right? Inequalities and income divide. What is important, therefore, is opportunities, equal opportunities. No one is made equal in terms of talent or attributes, right? Okay, we're all intelligent, But doesn't mean if I chose to be a mechanic and make a lot of money and not go to university, I'm a lesser person. A lot of university graduates and lecturers with PhD, phony donkeys, MBA, master bullshit artists, BSc, bloody screw-ups. Do you think very clever? Finger, okay? If I may divert for a second, take the new Minister of Education. Last minute he joined Bersatu. Right? We don't know nothing about him. He was not in the struggle. I don't know whether he was in fact involved in the manifesto of Pakatan Harapan. All of a sudden he's being a Minister of Education. As if he's so indispensable. Last minute he comes in, parachute in. And within a few months appointment, can you imagine? The only thing I can associate, right, with this numbskull, black shoes, as opposed to white shoes. Sorry, there's one I can read about him. I got him uttered one word about the future direction of the country, save that he may even follow the blueprint of Najib. And then now he enters another controversy. He's going to be the president, or rather, he's been the president of the International Islamic Universities. Refused to resign. Even though within Pakatan Harapan, the appointment is against the manifesto. You see? You call it reformasi? No. This is the microcosm of the problems with the Malays leaders. Nothing to do with the Chinese, the Indians, the Kazakhstans, the Dayaks, nothing. China, Russia, America, Japan, nothing. This is a problem within your community. And for too long, this propaganda was never directed at the elites. It's directed at the electoral pool of Malay voters. That's all. They are kept in a state of financial dependency for only one reason: the votes. Just look around. Those Malay students selected carefully, diligently, to go to public schools in UK. The Eatons, the Harrow, the Rugby, whatever. Then groomed to enter to other universities. They come back with an English accent, totally anglicized, and Anglophiles. Follow me? They are the elites. Look at Mara. I'm told, I stand to be corrected, that many subjects are taught in the English medium, especially law faculty. English! Alright? And likewise, when you send them overseas, they come back with the American twang, the English accent, or even the Aussie accent. So, this is the reality. I therefore would invite all my non-Malay, non-Muslim brethren who are not in government. You know, I think your very presence in government actually supports a myth. I would prefer if the entire cabinet was one race, and all the institutions, financial, economic, controlled by one race. This is real reformasi. You know why? Because by then, otherwise there's no other way to tell the Malays, not the elites, the bulk of the Malays, don't blame others, because they're in control in everything. Then if anything goes wrong, they fail to leapfrog to be a developed nation, they can't blame anybody's name. They have to ask themselves, right, what went wrong? They cannot give any excuses. That is true reformacy. You do an experiment, right? When you're in total control and the experiment failed, you can ask yourself, right, why? The scientist did. The guy who was doing the experiment, right? He put the wrong information, wrong technical things, wrong chemicals. Kaput! But of course, that is not possible in reality. So if it's not possible in reality, for heaven's sake, why engage in racial polemics? Why engage in bigotry or religious polemics? Let it be. Let it be. Because I can assure you, right, the Malay themselves will find a solution. They have to look after the cake. You just look after your cake, the Chinese cake, the Indian cake, the Kazakh cake, the Dayak cake, what have you. And there'll be harmony. Because no community will be so stupid to commit harikiri, knowing that beyond the horizon is catastrophe. Okay? Finito. Habis cerita. Alright? Now, let's be honest. Can you talk about economic transformation when the 5 GLICs who control the economy is still in UMNO hands in many ways, even though they changed the government? The 70 over companies which these 5 GLICs control majority shares, as well as those special vehicles are in their control. Because they've been appointed by the UMNO government. You think Tun Mahathir or Anwar for that matter can sack every one of them? They are UMNO pedigree. They're still with UMNO. So, what reformation are you talking about? And I'm telling you, Tun Mahathir cannot solve this problem. Anwar cannot solve this problem. Pakatan cannot solve these problems because this is a reality. Right? And you think within the first term they can transform the economy to be so-called reformasi economy when they're not in control of the levers? No use blaming on UMNO. All Malays collectively over the last 60 years agreed to this modus operandi. Alright? So the only way, short of sacking all of them, is you, the leaders, starting with Tun Mahathir, know your inadequacies. That no one is indispensable. No one have all the answers. You have been checkmated in many ways. Accept the reality. And the only possible way is psychological. To imbue in the people a sense of dignity, integrity, honesty, and fear God, fear Allah. And pray in the hope that those appointees represent UMNO in all these organs of power, political, economic, right, with a sense and a shame not to betray their own kind. No one betrayed the Malays except the Malay leaders, I'm telling you that. They enrich themselves. And they blame other people. That's why the Lokmans, the Tajuddins, you know. No, there was no non-Muslim CJ until Richard Malajum. There was no non-Muslim Attorney General until Tommy Thomas. Irrelevant. Because all of them, in more ways than one, answer to ultimate power. That's reality. In America, in UK, in Australia, and all over the world. Don't talk about separation of powers to me, please. It's all myth. Who appoints the judges in America? The president. Even in Supreme Court. And then they have a rare cooling of confirmation hearings by the Congress and Senate. Like what's going on now. Brett Kavanaugh, nominated by Trump to be in the Supreme Court. Before that was Gorsuch, Judge Gorsuch, I think. another nominee of Trump. Went through so-called a hearing for confirmation hearing and was in the end confirmed. Habis cerita lah yo, understand? Habis cerita. Alright? So, what do you expect? England says the same thing. Alright? Who's the real power behind? The crown. Find out more. So, may I therefore suggest we have to look inwards. See, Pakatan says the Prime Minister cannot last for 2 terms because if longer more, will be very powerful, very corrupt. See, most of the MPs of Pakatan Harapan and also as Barisan Nasional, MPs are more than 2 terms. As if they are indispensable. They do nothing. Alright? They talk gong in Parliament. And those who are ministers, alright? Why you stay more than 2 terms? And the Prime Minister has more responsibility to direct the captain, the leader. Cannot last 2 terms. Why must you go for 3 terms? Huh? In your second term, you start preparing for your successor to replace his MP or to replace you in the cabinet. But you want to go on, you see? Can you see this nonsense, this contradiction, this hypocrisy, this lies? And you talk about reformacy. Given this scenario, I can tell you, reformacy is a dead duck. If anyone in Pakatan, if anyone in BN UMNO dare confront me and say what I say is rubbish, I dare go on open debate in public, live television if possible. Then let's see whether the Malays will wake up. Because if they don't, in less than 10 years, I can assure you, we will not be competitive. We will not be competitive. We will die, literally be liquidated as a country. We left behind. Worse than third world. Okay? Worse than third world. So let's not get carried away. Right? Now, I'm going to be very practical. This is addressed to the Pakatan leaders. You're all virgins in government, in cabinet. All virgins, okay? You're little chickens in the chicken coop. And the fox is already in the chicken coop by way of the remnants of the Najib regime. Yet, I don't see the resilience, the tenacity, and the urgency so far. There's an immediate solution. And I hope Pakatan Harapan ministers will have the humility to accept what I'm saying. And likewise, the Prime Minister. You alone, despite your experience, you can no longer, on your own effort and strength, carry the cabinet with you. Sorry. Just too much. Until the age, just too much. Because they have said to me and to the country, on your retirement after 22 years as a Prime Minister, you said, if after 22 years, I can't solve all the problems I can't solve. I've got 22 years to rectify the ship or whatever. I've done all I can, that's it, I'm retiring. That's what you said to Mahathir. Likewise, you think next 2 years you can perform miracles? What you could do in 22 years? In fact, as you say, last time was easier to manage a government because all things was there. Total power, UMNO power, economic, political power. Today, you don't have even total power. Alright, you have the countdown to the Pakatan parties, to so-called consensus. This is rubbish, okay? And you expect to do and achieve what you could achieve in 22 years? In 2 years? Sorry, to Martin, you can't. You just cannot. You are not indispensable. You don't have all the answers. If I may suggest to you, to Mahathir, for which I respect you as a leader, You have won and achieved a victory beyond comprehension. The whole country didn't expect you to win. I did. You didn't expect to be a prime minister. Was offered on a platter to you. So you defeated Najib. There's a feather in the cap. That's all you wanted. The lowest common denominator. Now you're given on the platter premiership. What else do you want? You continue and you're not able to address all these issues, the reality, the stark reality which I have just brought out openly for the first time in history of Malaysia. First time. I'm the only one who dare put in public this ugly truth. These two pictures represent, says it all. These two pictures. You dare not say it. Anwar does not say it. Najib doesn't say it. Supreme Council Abdul doesn't say it. The leaders of Pakatan Harapan dare not say it. But this is the reality. Alright? Even when you're in power, you dare not say it. So can you tell me? Are you telling me that now, in this 11th hour, we are facing all kinds of threats? You can solve it. You alone can carry a cabinet of little chickens, virgins in power. No. They are still feet dragging because you can't move. Look at the state of Pakatan Harapan, the lead party, PKR, the slugfest between Rafidah and Aziz. For whatever they're doing, I can't be bothered, right? But something really shocks me. I'm neither for Rafidah or Aziz. But when Rafidah says, elect me as the deputy president of the party, I will guarantee Anwar will be the prime minister. Now a lot of people think, oh, what, my God, such a loyal to Anwar, such a good person fighting. But you look deeper, he's a dumb skull. Why? Pakatan Harapan, the Presidential Council, as a body, says the 8th Prime Minister will be Anwar. Tun has agreed. Aziz was there. Kishan was there. Masama was there. It's on the same pattern, is it? So, do we need a Rafidah who's not in power to guarantee Anwar will be the Prime Minister and whack his colleague? Oh my God, how he arrogant himself as if he is the one and only kingmaker. And by his manner of attack and criticisms, right, has dragged Pakatan Harapan in general, his own party, in shades. I'm not interested, right, who paid for what, who raised what money. Your behavior. You stand on the pedestal of righteousness, but you're a convicted criminal. And you were already convicted of crime because you broke the Official Secrets Act. Even though the many ways skin a cat to bring the truth out to the open. As my client and I did, where the Lord Watch Police report, truth came out, accounts were frozen. We disclosed actual documents without contravening Official Secrets Act. And then recently, he was sued by ministers for defamation. And just was made against you, you have to pay compensation. Now, that means you cannot be trusted when you utter rubbish. You're a shit stirrer. My God, you can say things as truth until you're brought to court. Then to say that what you said was lies. And you now want to come to the public and say, I am the kingmaker of Anwar. I will guarantee he will be the prime minister. Therefore, you're insulting and spitting in the face of all the top leaders, including your president, your current president, one son, that their words cannot be trusted. Their promise to Anwar, you be the 8th prime minister, cannot be trusted. Only you can be trusted. You can assure Anwar can be the 8th prime minister. Please, Rafidah, step out of the rain. The members of party are not stupid. They don't need a rebel rouser to know what's right and wrong. You are now a microcosm of an infantile rebel rouser. Okay, that's what you're good at. Right? You can say whatever you want. Because if you have the maturity and experience, you won't do this. It's self-interest, self-glorification. I can guarantee Anwar premiership. Having said that, I'll move on. These are some symptoms of sickness. So Tun, may I therefore suggest to really, really look inwards and say, I've done enough for the country. I won the election. I removed Najib. And if you don't care for anything else, having achieved this two twin objective, one was given you on a platter, may I suggest you retire as soon as possible, in blaze of glory, with your legacy intact. And let God decide whoever takes over from you to run the country. It's beyond your control, beyond my control. And your successor defies God's command, Allah's direction, and brings this country to its knees. There's nothing you can do or I can do. We can't be fighting all your successors. Because every one of the successors which you appointed, you selected, right, turned out to be shit. Except maybe Gaffer Baba, a very honest, simple, humble man. No threat to you. Anyway, in politics, right, whether in this country or other countries, no leader, the prime minister or president, will want to have a very powerful, intellectual, clever deputy. It'll be a threat. That's why in England, learn from England. You win, you stay on. You lose, you piss off. Yet in our country, you have leaders who lost election and remain in power. You lose, you get out. Let the party elect someone else. No one is indispensable. All right? Look at David Cameron. He won the election. But because he called for a referendum on Brexit, he lost. He honorably, gracefully resigned. He don't have to. It wasn't even an election. All right? A referendum is not binding. It's a convention. But he took the honor to go out in style. And this woman, Theresa May, which you're going to meet in due course, is a nincompoop. But you're going to pay her honor. My God. You condemn Najib, right? Seeing Trump. Oh, but you're going to see Theresa May, third-rate leader of what we're going to achieve. That said, I will urge you seriously to get out on top. Because you have too many hangers-ons, little Napoleons around you, leftovers from previous administration, overrated, underemployed numbskulls, holding you down, no brains. At most they are jonos. How long? The fact that you have to rely on these numbskulls. But if you have to rely on leftovers, fine. Then let me suggest one name. And I hope when this person's name is revealed to you this morning's speech by me, she would step to the plate and serve the country. I have in mind Rafidah Aziz. Her intelligence equal to yours, second to equal to yours. And she had experience. In the chicken coop of all little chickens, you need a mother hand to whip them in shape, put it online. You can't do it all by yourself. And the growing currency wars and trade wars and dislocation and fractures in the global economy, you need someone steady, courageous, resilient, intelligent to help you. Not even Guan Wing, Minister of Finance. Not even us, me, even ministers can do that. Rafidah. And I appeal to Tan Sri Rafidah Aziz, before the election, you were there, battling on the forefront. You can't just walk away now. Please, come forward, offer yourself. Offer yourself first. And if Tun rejects you, you've done your duty. Then Tun, if I say so, the bluntest word is an idiot. Because to my whole country, I say to you, Rafidah should be the Prime Minister. But she was ahead of her time. UMNO would not have accepted Rafidah even as a Deputy Prime Minister at that particular time. In the cabinet, she was the most intelligent. Either equal to Tun or second to Tun, nothing else. But, the feudal culture of these numbskulls in UMNO wouldn't accept it, you see. The male chauvinists, and she was bypassed. But let truth be said, Rafidah Aziz is a solution. If you want to stay on, ignore my advice to you to retire in glory. But if you want to stay on, you need someone to bat at the wicket. And she will teach each and every virgin chickens in your cabinet how to perform. She was my tutor in economics when I was in Malaya. And I'm telling you, she was the most popular tutor in economics. Alright? Far superior than any woman leader on either side of the equation. No women leader to today can come near her in terms of her expertise, experience, most important, her tenacity. She went out the whole world on trade issues and brought back a victory. And her legacy is second to you, Tumati, second to you. Pakla, Prime Minister, pale shadow. Najib, oh my God, right? Infantile, a criminal. She's not perfect. That's what you need. You have a choice now, Tumati. This country will not move forward. You either retire in the place of glory and let a new team comes by, and hopefully whoever succeeds you will use the intelligence. Or if you choose to stay on, then bring Rafidah to the table. Without which, you will have success. That I guarantee. With that, once again, I will appeal to all of you. We are in dire times. Between September now and November, I'm telling you, there will be major crisis that will shake the world. Major reset on the global financial system. Major reset on the legal system, global legal system. It will be earth-shaking. We are not prepared. This government is not prepared. UMNO is shit. Past in the shits. So who's going to stir the country? You can't do it alone, Tumati. You're not indispensable. Have the humility to bring in Rafidah Aziz. And Rafidah Aziz also please have the humility to step forward, offer your services. Do that duty, that minimum duty, offer yourself. If not, if Tun rejects you, walk away. You have the highest respect because you offered. And ego reject you. Ego reject you. Know that, truth. And therefore, my final word to all my countrymen, surrender your will completely, unreservedly to Allah. He's the ultimate power, the ultimate guiding hand. Have absolute faith that He will protect, defend and guide us under all circumstances. And inspire us to defeat our enemies, adversities and challenges. In all circumstances, I guarantee you that. This is a truth that I received in my meditation and my prayers. And I hope what I shared with you will spark an intelligent, mature discussion and debate. Look inwards. Don't look for power or position or titles or awards. Serve the country. Serve God. Utamakan Allah. Bukan Najib, bukan kerajaan harapan, or whatever. He comes first. Utamakan negara, bukan party. That's it. We will achieve a lot of victories. Until then, I see darkness negativity, even though I'm an optimist. But I've been inspired to give this speech because these are the lessons I've learned and what I've received to convey to you. With that, thank you, fellow Malaysians, and God bless you.